Back again for round two on this lovely picture here. Phyllis Feathers. Deal me up. So, got a couple of fresh colours to add too. Ones you might not expect. Heavy bodied, brilliant magenta. Heavy bodied naphtol crimson. And heavy bodied transparent red oxide. Just more depth, feeling, colour to the feathers. That's the plan. Oxide's actually more on the brown spectrum, which I think probably didn't hear a word of that. I had the mic off, but oxide's probably more on the brown side of the spectrum, which I kind of like. Hey guys. So it's going to add a bit more depth into these darker points of the feathers. The pink is just really fun. And the naphthol crimson heavy body will add a bit more power and depth to the shape of them sort of powering out. At least that's the plan. I have been known to break plans, not listen to plans, and generally just do what feels right. So that may happen. Hey Jenny. Jenny, Lejon, and Sam. There we go. Our wonderful little palette. All right. We've got 3 colours on the palette. And the first one I'm going to kick off with is going to be the pink, because it is brighter than the other colours. And so, as soon as we get bored of it, I can swap down to I can swap down to a darker colour and just seamlessly go from colour to colour and see how it goes. A little bit of white too, just so I can create that bit of difference here and there. But at the moment, it's not about changing the world. Well, it's always about changing the world. At this point in time though, it's just playing with the colours. This picture fundamentally has colour, although it's mainly red, but colour is a fundamental element within it. So how we build that colour out, play with that colour early on, and let the whole work blossom is going to be a key part of it. Let's see where I can put this anyway. Should be just fine. Should be just fine. Don't you know? Love a bit of heavy bodies over some soft bodies. Why did you stop going live on Reddit? That's a great question. Reddit stopped using their service. You could no longer stream live content on Reddit. Back in those days, we used to play music too, but now you just get the not so soothing sound of my voice. Yarning about paint. Before you'd listen to all my crazy tunes, things that got me in flow states. It's actually been better for me now not using music, because it saves music for when I really need it. I don't need music every single session, but when you need music, you need music. And so to have it there waiting for you, it's handy. And yes, this is New Zealand. I'm currently using a paper plate right now. I like it. It's lighter. That's not a reason to change though. I kind of like the weight behind it. Made you put more effort behind your painting. But the paper plates are convenient in that once you've mixed too many colours, it's easy just to grab a new paper plate and continue keeping a clean, pure palette rather than allowing more cross-contamination to occur, like what would happen if you had, say, a single plate. So I'd have 4 or 5 plates, and then I'd end up spending a lot of time washing them after the session. Basically, the trade-off came in that I had to think, am I using enough hot water, like, to clean these plates and reuse them as I would be to actually, considering the wastage on actually use, they are paper plates, not plastic, but the wastage of using paper instead of a renewable resource like porcelain. Well, given the quality of the paint that I use and how much it would stick to the porcelain, I actually felt like I was using more hot water to clean porcelain plates than I would be if I was just using paper. But, I mean, I'll keep testing that because it's not a matter of taking a strong stance and saying I'm never going to move off this. It's a matter of constantly testing, figuring out what works, adjusting, and that's the way it goes. And no, your boy has not been doing any painting contests lately. That's not to say I won't do them, but I just haven't lately. I've been tied up with a lot of personal projects and commissions at the moment, which take up your time. There we go, beautiful. See how this colour here has got more bold feeling to it. I'm applying it with a stubby brush. Stubby brush lets me get in there and focus on more depth, hammer it onto the surface. There we go. Around there, step in. Kind of like a Mike Tyson step in, but it's a painting. There we go, through there. Beautiful. See how that red just really punches off the surface. It says, I am here. I'm not here to mess around. I'm here to exist. I love that. And one of the things I'm going to do with this canvas here too is I'm going to head on around the back and get this whole canvas looking gorgeous from the front to the back. Hey Sarah, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I'm doing good. Grab a bit of this. There we go. Who is this woman in the painting? This is a character, an alter ego, a personality, another side of a client. And we're calling this other side, or the name of this other side officially, is Phyllis Feathers. And the reason why that's beautiful is it relates to a very, very famous historic figure. Let me know if you know who I'm talking about. Clue, it's in the name. And there's a beauty behind that. The connection with that character. We want to get a little bit of the emotion of both characters in this. We want to get that feeling, exploding vitality, colourful energy. The kind of vitality and energy that holds a room. When you enter a room or when someone enters a room, you know they've entered because you feel the whole mood change and boil up and bubble. That's what we want to capture here. That's the goal. Let's come the whole way down through here. Come the whole way down through here. And it's going to bubble up through there. Who can hear the rain? Cheers, Sarah. You know, it's fun having you in here, Sarah. I appreciate that. Now, let's get a few more of these. At the moment, the only tones that have captured the face. Ooh, I put the paintings in a box and I ship them. They go to mainly people in America, some to Europe, some to Australia. Mostly I'd say, if one place had to go above the others, I would say a three-way tie. No, not a three-way tie. It'd be either Washington, Chicago, or New York. But I'm not sure which one I'd give the overall winner to. Not sure which one gets the overall winner. There we go. Beautiful. Colours creeping around the back there. The baby has not been had yet. I appreciate you asking. Here we go. Phyllis Feathers. Phyllis Feathers. Beautiful. I just want to get this feeling in this picture that the energy from this individual is exploding out at you, that when you walk past it in a hallway, you get the same feeling like you were in the room as this character, not visually like a photo, but as if she's like that one moment. In this photo here, it's less like she's posing for a photo and more like in this moment that's been captured, their gaze has somehow been excited by the energy in the room or by something that they've seen, and there's just this joy coming out at you. So that's what we're after capturing. That's what we want. We won't settle for less, actually. And once we feel like vibrant joy, vitality, and pleasure are exploding out, and we've captured the character, we want those two things. We're being quite greedy, actually. We're after a few things. But if we can get those, I'll be a happy man. And we'll call it completed. But at this stage, I want a bit more likeness, and I want more wild nature in the feathers. At the moment, I see wild paint. That's fun, but I want to see wild feathers. Again, I'm greedy like that. There we go. And Ricky, appreciate you here sharing the live, you absolute champion. The red wants to be the most fundamentally important colour popping off this canvas. That's everything I want. So if you're seeing that, we're on the right track. And you'll notice this is uniquely different from the other works we've done, because in this one here, the red is creating that foundation of intensity. There's blue in the background a little bit, but usually in most of my paintings, blue becomes the foundation. And the reason I love the blue is because blue has so many shades that you can play with, so many directions you can take it, so much more depth than its counterparts on the color wheel. The rarest one you'll see, and not rare as in special, just less likely to be seen, and sometimes I do it because sometimes it's the right answer, is the color yellow. That's hard to find. I use it in the pictures, but I never start with it. It would take something really unique for me to start with it. Tim, how we doing? Tim likes it, that's a good sign. We're in early days though, Tim. We've got that explosion coming at the moment, that explosion of energy coming outwards. I want more likeness. And one of the beautiful things about this picture, the dazzling earrings and the beautiful eyes. So if I can get these eyes, I need to get more of the makeup. There's a beautiful tint on top, the earrings coming down, and then I need these feathers everywhere and amongst this forward moving motion. So there's a couple of things I need. You're like, that's a lot of stuff, Seb. You've been quite greedy. And it is just a 16 by 20 canvas. But you know what? I'm going to be greedy. I reckon we can get that. The other thing I'm doing, the other thing that's happening here, is you'll notice me going around the back of the canvas. So I'm leaving my options open for framing, depending on how we want to go about it. In the fall to learn more about art. Fantastic, Jenny. I'm glad to hear it. Lola's off to art school. It's an exciting time. That is a pretty exciting thing to happen. Heading off to art school for the first time. But don't get it twisted though. When you get to art school, the most important thing are the friends you make. I was, when I first arrived, I was more bent on trying to extend who I was in my art form and thinking teachers would show me that, when actually it wasn't about that. It was about the friends in the room with me and what they could show me. Not because they would teach me new tricks, but because they genuinely care. Never underestimate the power someone who genuinely cares can have on your art form. That's perfect. She has a plan. She's a lady with a plan. You know, in some ways, this portrait's really, really fun because the love and the energy's already in it. I just need to be here to capture it. And that's kind of a fun place to be. Sometimes I'm trying to add it in. Sometimes I'm trying to find it. And other times it's there waiting for me just to be there. And hello, German, how we doing? Welcome on in. Can you guys hear me all right? What's the... You're not getting blown away by the sound of the roof, rain on the roof? Hopefully not. Okay, here we go. Bunch of cool. Glad to hear it. There we are, bunch of this colour. Lovely. This is straight on top. This is the intensity. These multiple pigments are what's going to be building up these feathers as we go. We need that. We need that. So now we're into the slightly orangey colours. I would say flame red. Now we're not going to encroach too far into the oranges, but a little bit. A little bit to capture that spectrum of light that hits these feathers. That's going to be important. There we go. Beautiful. Do you coordinate the colours you wear with a colour palette you plan to use in your paintings? Not intentionally, but if I had more clothes, I sort of run my wardrobe quite thin actually. I'll wear something until I don't like it, and then I'll buy something new from an op shop. But I'll keep my stuff quite, you know, once I find something I like, I wear it till it's completely done. So if I had a bigger wardrobe, then yeah, probably I'd just I'd just coordinate what I'm wearing with the painting. But at the moment, I think you're just looking at me choosing colours I like and me wearing colours I like. So it's coincidental coordination. And thanks, German, I appreciate you. How many pictures have I drawn? It's funny you ask. I keep an exact tally. No, I've got no idea. No idea. I couldn't even have told you that back in university. That's getting pretty wishful thinking, I'll know that sort of data. Cheers, German. All right, a little bit of white in there. So we're going to go from our flame red. This is going to turn into more of like a salmon color. White through flame red makes luxurious salmon. And we'll use that. There we go. Lovely. That's what I'm after. Beautiful. That's what I like to see. That's what I want. That's what I need. Depth in red. These feathers are so much fun. I can only imagine if it was a video, how they'd bounce or move or flutter or catch the wind around the room. Like, to imagine that sort of changes the way. Just imagine the beauty and how they'd have it. There'd be a real visual element to them. So we've got a frozen surface. So we need to embody that visual element even more to do these feathers justice. Being that they're an important part of the character. Hello, I appreciate that. I really like this picture too. I think this is a pretty special picture. And we just need to keep slashing colour at it. Keep building it up until we see what we're after. Cheers, Mooney. I appreciate you. Let's get a bit of that in here. Here we go. Now we're on to like a pastely red. So we can actually dabble with a bit of this around the face. Not too much so, but the colour will be slightly similar in a few pockets. Not all the hues, but a few of them. There we go. Lovely. Friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, they're no friends of mine. Hello! Welcome on in. You've just missed my whole yarn I was given about the feathers. But don't worry, the whole recording will be saved so you can catch all of it in the replay. Basically, we're currently building up all these pigments inside the feathers with a whole bunch of wild strokes. The idea, to have the character in a moment of, is a little bit of surprise, a lot of vitality and a lot of joy. Like when you see something and there's that moment where you, and we're capturing that. It's less of a, in complete contrast, imagine the sort of sudden pose. It's less of a sudden pose and more of a candid, organic, I'm covered in joy, I'm covered in happiness moment. I bring this whole room alive. Now, we're just capturing the one face. There's other characters around, but I can tell from the reference photo that this character has brought all the joy to this room. So, the idea behind it is if we can get just a little bit of that character's joy, a little bit of that character's energy. So when this photo's on a wall, you haven't met feathers before, but when you see the photo, you feel like you know what you might be in for. You feel a little bit of that energy, that zest for life, that joy, that fun. That's what I'm after. And we're going to get that through about 20 or so different pigments of red. Just all bouncing over each other. And I've got a very, very crazy framing idea. An insane framing idea. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying that the idea is there, and I'm painting all the way around the canvas, just in case, as it gets towards the finish line, we start thinking, that's what I'm after. That's the kind of frame. And that's why I always say do your homework and paint around the whole canvas. Because if you don't do that, you'll get to the end of some works and think to yourself, actually, this would be vastly improved if I could frame it like this or that, but the paint won't allow for it. So having that versatility, it can be important. Right. Feathers at the top. And see, for this little effect at the top, there's a few feathers just in their lonesome, these little red ones coming out behind this plume of white ones. Now, apart from just the red, we need to show off not just red feathers, but there's white ones in between here and down through here, and a lovely white top. Texture will show the top because there's these lines in it. But the feathers up here, the question is, how do we determine a separation from what's feather and what's top? And the key to the feathers is going to be matching the brush strokes of the red ones. So then you assume that actually it's all part of a similar thing and not breaking it. That's correct, crazy. Seb Gower is not in the studio. And if you listen to the sound, it is raining very heavily. And in this heavy, heavy rain, I have decided to paint inside because otherwise we'd be in trouble. So here we are. Definitely don't regret being inside though, guys. That rain's coming down heavy, heavy. So let's get a little bit of this Yeah, just a little flick there. Tiniest little flick. Navigate it up into the background here a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to keep putting in just a little bit of white into the paint each time. Just a little bit of white. From the frozen Calgary, Zeet, welcome on in. No snazzy shorts today. Cheers, Ash. No, it's a bit colder. I don't know if you can hear that rain, but it's coming down heavy. And so I've put on my new jeans. And I just wanted to get this red coat on here, and thick. So if you can't tell, this paint's going on. I'll show you the paintbrush. That's how the paint's been added. Really thick and messy. Now that's going to be really, really important, because after this quick coat, and it is a quicker coat, I'll need to let it dry. But I needed to put it on because for this second coat, I need to embellish those feathers. Second coat, sorry, it's third coat. Third coat, I think we'll need 9 coats for this, is my guess. So we're on coat number 3 to put that in perspective. And you'll be like, but it seems like it's close. Maybe, but what we've got right now is wild paint. We need some more character, definition. That'll be 2 or so coats, but what we do need is depth. And depth comes from layering transparent coats. We don't have that yet. We might have a bit of beauty, we might have a bit of crazy, a bit of vitality, a whole bunch of colour, but without depth, the picture won't keep giving. And if you're going to put it on your wall every day, it needs to give you just a little something else. You know, spot little moments, little pockets, little movements of colour. Head all the way around the back. That is some good homework right there. See that? Then we're going to go the whole way under and around. Beautiful. That's what I want. It's what I want. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Just around here like that. Lovely. And then coming down in here, sneaking. Beautiful. Nice. Not in too much of a hurry with this colour either. It's subtle where it adds in. It's not as aggressive as that crimson, but it does exist. Tucking itself around, and it'll add a slight, ever so slight, 3D effect to the crimson. Slightly, because it'll curve around here. So although this colour's intense and saturated and popping out at you, these little pockets around the edges are going to make it feel like there's a larger plume. It's a flat surface. I'm not trying to lie to you with illusions of creating 3D effects with perfect gradients, but with the colours, through that, you'll be able to see that changing volume and dimension. That's the plan. That's my plan. Who's that? I'm waiting for you to make my image, to send me to the America. Nikki, that sounds very exciting. I'd absolutely love to be a part of it. Where did you send your message on? Was it via the commission form or was it somewhere else? Regardless, I'd absolutely love to get in touch. I think I'm pretty full up until about the 10th of May at the moment. 10th of May? 15th of May maybe. But there is some room for late May, which I'd absolutely love to chisel some people into if you'd like to be on it. And if not, totally fine. We go back to our project of human versus AI, which is waiting for me. Can I beat the AI? Not beat the AI. I say human versus AI. It's such a misleading title as well. I felt bad calling it that on a few of the replays. It's not human versus AI, it's human teamed up with AI. It's team life with a human player and an AI player. That's a better way to put it. But I guess it was a little bit clickbaity, if anything. That was my intentions. If someone clicked into it being like, oh, I want to see a human versus AI at painting, and then you found out that I was working with the AI, you'd probably be a bit annoyed at me. I'm sorry, I'll stop using that title. All right. Pinks, 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 pinks. There we go. Pinks, pinks, pinks. Give me that pink. Not a whole lot of pink though, team. Not a whole lot of pink. There's a little bit of pink around the feathers and going into the white, only a little bit, only a little bit. The predominant color here is this delightful scarlet color. This deep, luxurious, flamey red. That powerful, powerful. The sort of color I couldn't have worn in high school because I had too many pimples. That sort of powerful red. The only red I believe that competes with a spectrum of shades from blue and says, I might just be more intense than the most intense blue. That, my friends, is an intense red. It's a red with no chill. And if you're wondering what no chill means, it means... No, I've said that enough on the stream now. I think you all know what no chill means. I think we've reached that stage in our friendship. There we go. Down they can go. Give me some of that titanium buff. I'm going to add just a little bit. This, yeah, here we go. Just a little bit of this. Come on. Transparent gel. Yeah. Not a lot, just a little bit. It's going to make my bleached titanium a little bit sticky. Why does bleached titanium need to be sticky? It doesn't need to be sticky. That's how I like it. Like it sort of almost goes on like honey. And that's good because it'll provide a nice base coat until I come back with those more stark whites. Start showering this painting in those. Nice. Beautiful. We might even get, no, this should be all right. I'm tempted even to go as far as to add a teeny tiny bit of blue through it, but we'll run with it for now. As it pops into those reds a little bit, it'll pick up a little bit of it. You can always come back with some blues later in the piece as well. Yeah. Let me get a slightly bigger brush here, team. Here we go. That's what I'm after. Watch me distort the face a little bit, just a little bit, as I pull in some more shape to the garments that she's wearing. Beautiful. Down the eyes. nice. Up here. And over here, just a little bit. Beautiful. Heading around the back of the canvas. And over this side here too. Here we go. Lovely. Beautiful. And then down here. Beautiful. I'm blown away. I'm not feeling... Oh, sorry to hear that, 999. I hope you're feeling better in the long term. Get yourself a nice hot cup of coca. Sit down. One of the things I love to do rather than watching a Netflix show is watching the best scenes. The painting makes you feel better? Perfect. Well, I've got a couple more colours, so I'm not going anywhere. Hang out here with me. Yeah, I love to watch movie recaps. So there's a whole bunch of things that do it. It's like an AI voice. I find it quite soothing. And they just talk about movies and break down the plot of it. If they give you some Easter eggs too, I always like that. Point out some things. They're about 12 minutes each, so they're good sizes before bed. You can watch one or maybe two, and it doesn't blow the bank. Whereas if you're watching a TV show, sometimes you want to watch episode after episode. And if the episodes are 45 minutes each, like I love Jack Reacher. Don't get me wrong, he's a great man, but long episodes, and you don't ever really watch one. You always want another one. So there's that wild card that needs to be addressed. Shorter, better. There we go. Beautiful. And before I finish off though, there's going to be one more colour, two more colours actually. You see, as we start blossoming out these colours, you'll see them expand and contract. Yeah, recaps do show the best moments. This is true. This is factual. Give that man a gold star. It's just therapeutic. I like it. It's walks you through the plot gently. A cliffhanger is sometimes too much. It creates too much anxiety, or you'll watch an episode and they'll leave you on a cliffhanger to try and make you watch the next one, and you're like, I just tell me the plot and I can lose myself in a beautiful story. And during that time, I'll relax, chill out. I don't need a panic attack wondering if Reach is going to make it out of there alive or not. I don't need that in my life right now. Hey Steve, how we doing? You're more than welcome to be here, 999. This is a fantastic little spot for you to be. Unless you get bored and you want to run off and watch the movie recaps, I won't stop you. In fact, it'd be sad to see you go, but I would back the decision. Encourage it. Okay. Just going to let these expand out just a wee bit. We won't go as far as to cover up that little dot right there in the middle, not yet. But we will go as far as to extend out these eyes just a wee bit. So if you notice that the eyelashes may encroach further, than what you'd believe reality to be? Yeah, they will. And then we can draw them back with whiter colours and the gold that tints around these eyes. The gold is only present around the eyes as well. So when we finish it, we'll actually tint it with gold metallic paint, which will add almost a makeup element to that part of it. And that'll be pretty beautiful, pretty fun, because it'll catch the light differently on different angles. And that's kinda what we'd like to do here. But that's in the distance. That'll be one of the more final layers. Did I finish the Statue of Liberty? Zeke, you have not missed the Statue of Liberty. We're still working on that one. We did another layer today. That brings us to 2 layers. And there's gonna be a total of probably 8 layers. So you've only missed one of them. It's a large work. Lots of layers, lots of pigments, lots of colors. Not to be hurried. It's to be slowly coached out. You see, with a subject matter that's been captured a million times, we can't just shoot from the hip and hope we do something new. We have to slowly work at it, like education, to bring it out. With a Statue of Liberty, we want to make something new. Otherwise, why not, as a collector, just buy a nice photo of it, high definition, and put it in a lovely frame, hang it up. It's because we want to see the green goddess from an angle, from a style, from a perspective, from a imagination that maybe she hasn't been seen from before. And so I've got to be very careful not to get stuck in the rut of, say, recreating a photo, a generalization of her, an assumption of what I think the statue should look like, and I've got to get lost in what it stands for and actually how to capture the idea of the statue. That's the plan. And Ashley, it has been a hot minute since you've been in here. What a pleasure to have you back. What an absolute pleasure. And thanks for subbing, you absolute legend. Such a fun painting, would love to see you. Oh yeah, of course. Are you ready for the reference? We don't do this all the time, so I'm going to show you. And then the people who are in the room will know, and those who join later on will just be confused. Are you ready? Here we are. Here's our reference. So you can see how those eyes are popping. We've extended them a little bit further in our photo. That mouth, happy-go-lucky, and see how those feathers are popping out. And you can see these 2 faces each side of her, happy, joy in the room, making the party. So much fun. But, we're not bringing those faces in there. We're allowing her expression, her intensity, her vitality, her joy to be the thing that fills the room this painting goes into. That's going to be what's important here. Hey, Paul. Paul V2, good to have you back in here. Now, this is going to be a less used colour. This is a very, very deep, dark purple. It's like royal purple if you added a bit of black to it. This colour here is going to sit around this blue. Just add that extra little bit of intensity. There we go. And we're going to come back on these colours too and actually just get that black everywhere. Because once the black dries, then I can come on back with my whites and golds, so having a bit of fun. Whites and blacks, baby. There we go. Lovely. And then at the top here too, deal me up. Deal me up. Lovely. Over the back here, again, like I say, leave my options open, going the whole way around the canvas. Leaving your options open. The one thing you should never do in a relationship. Here we go. Or when you're even courting someone. Here we are. I just believe in wholeheartedly leaping off the edge for one person. I think that's healthy. Someone's like, you shouldn't do that. You should leave your options open. No. What happens if they're the love of your life and you premise your relationship on the fact that when you first met them, you sort of just kept your options open, played the field. It's a great message to send. How many sessions will this painting take? It's a good question. I don't fully know right now. I know we're on a great place for layer 3, but to say it's going to be X session, I'm going to say 8 sessions. I don't believe we're more than halfway. I don't believe it. But look, I may be wrong. I've been wrong in the past. I'll be wrong in the future. But at this present moment in time, I'm thinking we're less than halfway. So the key at the moment is just to have some fun. Not get caught up in thinking every brushstroke needs to be beautiful, but more just enjoying how the whole picture could come together with wild, crazy colours. And then from your perspective, if it starts to get a bit of definition, that's perfect. Because at the moment, from my position, it's just chaos. It's wild colour. I'm too close to it to actually make out the overall picture at this sort of point. And so that makes it quite fun for me, because I have to trust, as I'm painting, that yes, we're heading in the right direction. We're all wrong at times, Chad, that's correct. And what makes us separate is our ability to be able to say, I was wrong. And not just accept you were wrong, but apologize to those you were wrong to. So often we're able to accept that we were wrong and go, yep, I did a mistake back there. But how often does someone make a mistake to you and you remember it and sit on it and feel bad about it? Imagine if they did come back to you and tell you, sorry about that. I screwed up. I feel bad. It would mean the world. There we go. Beautiful. Over the back. Perhaps there's no right or wrong. I think there is a right or wrong, but I think each of us gets to choose in our own minds where that sits. You'd be like, there's no external morality, so I don't have to do anything or be anyone or follow your silly rules. Yeah, no, you don't actually. You're right. There is no real morality which we all must adhere to. We kind of just figured it out as humans. But you know what? Even though we were just humans figuring it out, I think innately inside all of us, we do know what we believe to be truly right and truly wrong. And we can ignore that, suppress that, and run off on our own thoughts on morality. But actually, at our core, I think we deep down, do believe that actually looking after each other, empathy, and love is the answer. So love is the answer. It kind of is, guys. It kind of is. I mean, do you really think? It's like when you leave think about this. We're the equivalent to a bunch of kids. A bunch of kids just left in a playground without adults around. Now, that being said, if you left a bunch of kids without the adults around, your son or your daughter's in there, what would you be most proud of your son and your daughter of if they were left in that playground? For a fact, you'd be most proud of your son or your daughter in that playground, left unsupervised with all the children, with no advice, no guidance, no nothing, if they stopped any bullying from happening, helped other kids up, gave a kid a pat on the back and asked them how they were doing if they fell over and grazed their knee. looked after each other and were patient and gave each other a turn on the slide. So you would feel the most pride for your offspring if they behaved like that in an environment you put them in without instructions. How is that different from you appearing in this reality on planet Earth like the rest of us did without instructions? It's exactly the same. And so maybe there's not a parent watching over you in the same way, but in the same way as your parent would feel, you'd feel pride for your child, you can feel pride for yourself by following basic ideals of morality that are true, that you believe to be self-evident, that even if there wasn't a bigger purpose, a God, this or that certain ideals you would believe to be held important without reward. Would you still want to help your neighbor if there was never going to be a reward? Or would you say, nah, if there's no consequences, I'll steal his bike? Or if he was never going to find out that you stole his bike and sold it for $200, would you still do it? I think a lot of us would be like, let him keep his bike. He likes it, he's happy. If that's your answer, there's probably some truths that you hold to be factual, regardless of who holds people at consequence. And that I believe is the best way to live your life. Not thinking that if you can get away with it, you would, but actually thinking that you'll hold on to certain ideals of morality without reward. You prefer to die on a hill to save what you believe in. I think there's less and less people who are on that fence these days. But it's a very good place to be. It feels better. Innately, it feels better. You'll love yourself more, for starters. And it's true. Bye for now. Come see us soon in Banff. That's exciting. I've been to Banff once before. What an amazing place. I spent most of my time at Big White. Big White was my go-to. Mirror. Correct, Chad. Correctos. How do you wake up? Not as a rhetorical question, but as an actual question. How do you wake up and look in the mirror and feel proud of the person who's looking back at you? First off, pursue your dreams. Second off, show love to strangers. Third off, show love to the people you actually love. Support them, look after them. You'll have an easy time looking in the mirror. You give yourself a break. You look in the mirror and think, I'm doing my very best. What a legend. And you deserve that break, especially if you are. All right. We'll pause there on this wild painting. How are we looking though? Yeah, we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. I'll pick you guys up and show you a little bit better. Here we go. Ignore the paint on me. So we've got our picture here. Voila. And you can see the eyes there, a lot of makeup. We haven't got around to all the makeup on the eyes yet, but we do have that expression of joy, surprise, the sudden, feeling that she's got, and then this beautiful embellishing of feathers all around her. The red is much more prominent right now than the white. Like I said, we worked on the red today. We added in a bunch of the red colors, and the white needs to come in more as we go. But it's in a fun place. Much more layers to go, and I appreciate all of you for hanging out with me. I hope wherever you are, you have a great day or a great night. Cheers, guys. All the best, and with a bit of luck, I'll see you next time. Bye, Chad. Bye, 99.